Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining my session. I certainly hope that everyone is doing fine in these testing times. The corona scare is still here, and we just hope that we get to meet each other face to face. I am Saurabh Garg, and I represent the firm Alice Dava and Company, which is the oldest Indian origin IP firm established in the year 1932. We are spread across three offices, the head office being in Calcutta. The other two offices are in New Delhi and Bangalore. We assist our clients in end-to-end IP services. And I would like to thank WIPF for giving me this opportunity and discussing on the topic IP globalization, especially in this era when everything is available online and on your cell phones, you can access everything. Why managing IP portfolio in several jurisdictions is important and how to effectively do that. It's what I would be going to talk about. I would also like to congratulate WIPF for organizing this beautiful event. The last event was flawless, and during such a short span of time, they have come up with another global event. So kudos to the team of WIPF. I'll just start with the presentation. As we are aware, the term globalization basically means that everything is globally available. There is no particular jurisdiction or boundary per se when it comes to things that are, on the internet or basically everything is available to everyone at any given moment of time. You want to watch a movie that's not, in your jurisdiction, or let's say if I want to watch a movie that's, released in Hollywood, at the same time it is being released in India, so I can watch the movie at the same time as the Americans are doing it. And so I guess that's the good example. And what entails is that it's a good opportunity for all the companies to go out, market themselves, and increase their revenue. The biggest blessing of the 21st century is the digitization. It's the availability of everything online. Like, for instance, there are a lot of e-commerce retailers wherein you can order anything from anywhere. If you are in America, you like something which is made in India, which is only being sold in India as of now. You can go on Amazon, you can order it online, you will receive it in America. How cool is that? It's not difficult. It's really accessible. So all the things are accessible. This gives a new opportunities for all the companies. This gives an opportunity for an individual or a small company as well to get in touch with larger entities, showcase their products, their services to them, and get in some sort of partnership with the bigger companies, with another company in another jurisdiction, so that you are able to expand your business across borders. You get access to the new markets, which in turn results in the lower cost of production if you're talking about some goods. Then, of course, if the cost of manufacturing a particular item in your jurisdiction is higher due to some laws, it might be possible that the manufacturing cost of the same thing, even after importing it from the other jurisdiction, is much lesser. So yes, definitely you would want to go to that jurisdiction for the manufacturing, which in turn results higher standards of living for everyone. If things are accessible, things are available at a marginal or nominal price, then people can afford it. This would increase the standard of living. And of course, there is access to new talent. So again, the globalization is definitely a very good tool. I would say it's a very good thing for all the companies. And the companies should basically focus on how to take advantage of this globalization. How IP comes into the picture here. We are all aware that IP is, though we say that IP is a global thing, but everyone is aware that it's a territorial right. Globalization has created a world where economic health of nations and the competitiveness of business is largely determined by the ability to develop, commercialize the products or the services, how they're doing that. And of course, if you want to, be leader or front runner in this thing, you need to have good portfolio. For businesses, IP are important means to protect their investments in innovation. For governments also, IP are legal instruments that encourages the industrial development and the economic growth of the particular country. Like for instance, if I talk about India, the Indian IP system over the past few years, I would say, has grown tremendously. It has, it has come up with new laws, new rules, which are actually benefiting the applicants. It has reduced the grant time to, drastically. I mean, as compared to what it was 10 years or 12 years, now it has come down to 2 to 3 years. So definitely, the foreign companies are also interested in filing the patents in India, which results in they setting up their production houses in India. In turn, which results in the jobs for the Indian people. So all in all, it's the if you have good IP portfolio, if the laws of a country are beneficial for you, then going to that country is definitely beneficial for you. It gives you a low production cost. It gives you better IP protection throughout the world. And for the country where you are taking your business or your production, it increases the revenue. The country has more number of jobs and everyone is happy. Now, so what is the need of IP portfolio? As I have been talking about the same, IP is international in scope, it's territorial in nature. So if you want to expand your business, if you want to go to other jurisdiction without IP, it's completely waste, so to say, because if you have a patent over a particular technology, which is brilliant, which is awesome, and you just have the protection in your country, but not in the country where you're planning to take your business or where you are planning to produce the same, then the person in that country, they can easily infringe it and we cannot do anything because now, see, everything is available online. Gone are the days where it was difficult for anyone to figure out what exactly has been patented in the US or in Europe, or it used to take a lot of time getting in touch, writing letters to the attorneys in these particular jurisdiction, asking them to do a search and then giving you the result. So earlier, it used to take a lot of time. But in this small world, digitized world, it is a matter of just a click. You key in the end the search string, you get the results. You go through the results. So let's say that you have a very good. Take an example of Apple or any other big giant. Right? They Apple came up with the touch screen swipe through, Zoom kind of stuff, and they filed for a patent in the US and of course globally also. But just imagine a scenario wherein they did not file an application outside US jurisdiction. A guy in India, he sees Apple phone, he says, "Wow, that's a brilliant technology. Let's see if they have a patent. They don't have a patent in India. I would just start manufacturing the same and start selling to the mobile companies in India." I mean, but that guy would end up making millions and millions of dollars in revenue, whereas Apple would say would not be able to do anything because they do not have a patent in India. So, of course, if you're wanting to expand or going into other jurisdiction, having a good IP portfolio in these various jurisdiction is always beneficial. Again, when you want to enforce the IP vis-a-vis alleged infringers or to increase the economic value of the IPR through transferring or licensing the IPRs to third party, then of course having good portfolio is definitely helpful. It is always advantageous. Hence, the need for IP portfolio across the multiple jurisdictions cannot be denied. Now, but there are certain things that a company should keep in mind while developing their IP portfolio across jurisdiction. They should not just file the applications right, left, or center without thinking or without putting in a lot of thoughts. It has to be a very strategized effort. It has to be tailored according to the need of the company, and not it cannot be same for all the companies. First of all, you need to analyze the countries where you think that your inventions or your products are important, or they have some value, or where you want to expand your business, right? But at the same time, you should also focus on those companies or those competitors in these jurisdictions who already have good presence. Why? So that you can collaborate with them. So once you are in a partnership with these companies in these jurisdictions, definitely their IP portfolio in turn becomes your IP portfolio as well, right? Depending on the T&Cs of the agreement, usually the IPs are also shared, the revenues through IPs are also shared. So their IP becomes your IP, the value of your joint business increases automatically. Then you should also take care of the cost benefit ratio before creating any IP portfolio in the country, right? Let's say that you have good appliance business or electrical manufacturing business. You are good with, your company is doing brilliant in your own jurisdiction when it comes to fans, ACs, heaters, and etc. etc. But now you need to, think as to whether filing an application for an AC would be beneficial in cold countries like Canada or upstate North, or filing an application for a heater would be beneficial in the countries like Middle East or Africa. Definitely not. So you need to key in these factors as well while deciding whether to file a patent application in a particular jurisdiction or not, depending on the type of technology and the business you have. Unless and until you have a business or you see an opportunity of the particular invention in a particular jurisdiction, there is no need to file the application. Business should also analyze what type of IP is relevant for a jurisdiction. So I'll give you an example. Like in India, we do not have a utility patent. We have the design rights or the patent application, the normal technical patent. But in Australia or in the US, there's a provision for utility patent as well. So getting a utility patent is much easier than getting a normal patent granted in India. The advantage of getting a utility patent is, of course, number one, low cost, quick disposal of the applications. You are increasing your IP portfolio. And, if you want some investment or if you want generally increase the value of the company, you are having more number of IPs, registered IPs in your portfolio. So you need to also decide whether to go for a patent application or a design application or utility patent or a combination of everything. Also, when applying or when filing for IP, the special importance should be given to the analysis of IP practice in that particular jurisdiction. Like, for instance, again, I would say like in India, there are several sections. Section 3K Section 3 in particular bars the grant of patent inventions which are particularly falling under the categories of Section 3. For example, Section 3K bars the grant of a patent which pertains only to software or software per se or algorithms or a business method. So while coming to India with these sort of inventions, it is necessary to keep in mind that usually these sort of applications are not granted easily in India. Right. So you need to make certain amendments to these applications, or right at the time of drafting, if you are sure that you want to enter a particular jurisdiction, you can draft the application in a certain manner, which would definitely help in future as well. And last but not the least, so these all were the defenses, like having an IP, having, so that nobody else can manufacture, import, export, anything with the particular invention or copy your name, domain, anything. This is a very defensive approach which is being taken by all the companies throughout the world. The one more approach is an offensive approach, right? You, your company does not want to expand their operations right now to a particular country, but the product or the technology area in which you are dealing is very prominent in that particular country. So my recommendation would be to file the application, get the grant in the particular jurisdiction, even if you don't have a business, because since the technology is upcoming in that country, and definitely people would try to copy or come up with something else, and they might be infringing on your technology. So you can use the patented technology as an offensive tool to sue other people for the infringement. This will give, again, as I mentioned in point number two, cost to benefit, then yes, definitely there is some cost attached to filing the applications out in other jurisdictions, but the benefit that you are going to reap would be much higher. So going with the defensive approach is one thing, going with the offensive approach is the other thing, while maintaining or creating your IP portfolio in other jurisdictions. I already discussed. I'll just add few more points. Basically, what are the benefits of having the global IP portfolio? Bullet number one, quite clear. It is self-explanatory. It says value addition to the business portfolio. It is a major advantage. As I mentioned previously, also, if you want to merge or if you want to acquire another company in a foreign jurisdiction, and if you have good IP portfolio, then you have an upper hand. You can negotiate the terms and conditions of the deal as per your wish. And it is always good, because if you're if you're acquiring someone or merging with another company, then you are also taking the benefits of their resources, because not necessary that you have all the resources or all the manpower to come up with something innovative, but let's say the other companies have. So if you merge with them, if you acquire them, you are essentially having the access to their workforce, as well as all the facilities that are being provided by that company. Then M&A also allows the technology transfer from one person to another in the marketplace. This leads to proper exploitation of the IP assets, and I'm so sorry, it is utilized to the full extent. M&A also helps in diversification, right? If they want to, expand your horizon, the company wants to get into a new field, but as I said, you do not have enough resources or manpower to do that. But acquiring other company would definitely help you in venturing into the new domain per se, and because of course the company with whom you're merging or acquiring, they have a business, they already are established, so you don't have to put in a lot of efforts while doing that. But having a good IP portfolio always helps, right? Let's say that you are on the other side of the table. You are the one who is trying or who is being approached by a bigger company for M&A, right? If you have good IP portfolio, you can tell them your worth is way more than what they are quoting, what they are expecting, and you would want to close the deal at a particular amount, which is of your choice. But if you do not have a good IP portfolio, chances are that you might not get a good deal. While coming up with IP portfolio and developing the IP portfolio, there are a few things like patent analytics that should be kept in mind. Patent analytics helps in analyzing the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats to a company, yada yada yada, in a particular jurisdiction in a dynamic marketplace. You can take assistance or help from, there are a lot of patent analytic firms throughout the world who do certain projects like portfolio analysis, competitor analysis, technology analysis, and cost and budget analysis. So when it comes to portfolio analysis, you can have valuable insights about a particular competitor or about a particular company. What are the strengths of the particular company? In which technology domain they have filed maximum number of IPs? In which particular domain they are weak in filing IPs? They do not have strong rights. Or if you want to check whether your competitors were working in a particular field or not, or whether they have filed applications, or what is the latest status of the applications of your competitor. You can go for the competitor analysis or competitor watch services. Technology analysis is something which is very important, I would say, if you are a technology-based company. It gives you, so in technology analysis, you can go for a white space analysis or the landscape analysis, wherein you would get the details of where a particular technology or where a particular technological area stands as of now. It gives you the complete picture of what all has been done in a particular technology till date, who are the market leaders, who are the maximum number of filers, the assignees, the everything you want to understand about technology would be there. What are the sub technologies coming out from the particular technologies and whatnot? So if you're a technology based company, then yes, technology analysis is a very handy tool, and it should give you the insight to a particular technology, and that would allow you to focus the research in a particular domain or in a particular area. Also, cost and budget analysis gives a detailed information on the cost occurred during patent prosecution and maintenance period. You can do that for your own company, for the competitors, for anyone you want. This basically helps you in which jurisdiction you are paying how much amount of money to file the patent applications or IP basically, and to how much are you spending in maintaining those IP in these jurisdictions. So you are aware of the outflow with regards to IP in these jurisdictions, and definitely you have the knowledge of the inflow that is coming, so you can compare and decide whether filing in for an IP or sustaining a particular IP portfolio in a jurisdiction is giving you any benefits or not. So that's a good tool, I would say. IP portfolio, we've discussed about why you want to have IP portfolio, what is the benefit of the IP portfolio, how you can achieve more by investing less through mergers and acquisitions, what all you need to keep in mind while developing a portfolio in other jurisdiction. Now we'll talk about fine. You have developed a portfolio, you have all the things. Now what to do with that? Now you can monetize a portfolio. You can go for the patent licensing, wherein you can assign the complete ownership or a part of it to third party or anyone else, either exclusively, non-exclusively. So there are a lot of avenues when it comes to patent licensing also, like soft licensing, which is a revocable agreement signed between the patent owner and the third party to transfer the interest in the patent or license. Now, who can use it, or who can achieve the benefits of these things. It's sort of a non-exclusive license, I would say. But non-exclusive license is something else. They have defined it separately. Exclusive license, as the term says, it's a license which is when one signed with the person, then you're giving all the rights to the other person, exclusive rights, even you do not have any rights to use that particular set of IPs. Whereas in a non-exclusive license, the licensor and other parties can also, use it depending on the T&Cs, and they can also create an intervention or design based on your IP, right? Sole license is quite similar to exclusive license with only one exception. So within the territory of exclusivity, the licensor is permitted to carry out on the licensed subject, right? Basically, in exclusive license, you will see that it is not allowed the title, even though the exclusive license is given, the title or the complete interest is owned by the licensor, right? But in sole license, the title is also, basically sort of assigned or given to the licensee. Carrot license is something, it can be regarded as suitable when one of the potential licensee is not using the invention, right? But you have a very good technology and you see that your competitor, for instance, is using a technology which is quite similar to yours, but not exactly yours. And if they use your technology, you're sure that they'll, reap the benefits of it. It will either reduce the production cost or some benefits, some advantage by using your technology. So you can go up to them, you can tell them that, we are willing to license out the technology to you if you agree to the TNCs. So this is a sort of a carrot license, as you're telling them that, yeah, your technology is far better than the technology that they are already using. And this way, you're telling them that, you are uh, doing them a favor basically by licensing out your technology. So it's kind of a, I would say, good tactics to license out your technology. And strict license is something when the prospective licensee is already using your patented technology and alleging and they are infringing your patent. So instead of uh, initiating a suit for infringement, you can just tell them that, listen, dude, you're using the technology. Instead of me suing you for infringement, I would suggest you take the license and everyone will be happy. Otherwise, you know how the codes work, you know the damages that I can get. So that's sort of sticking in their face. That's what the term stick licensing means. And last but not least would be cross licensing, in which, let's say that there are two companies. I want to use your technology, you want to use my technology. So we can come to an agreement wherein I'm using yours, you are using my technology, depending on the terms and conditions of the license. But this is how usually a cross licensing works. And patent enforcement, it's if you're unable to license a, or if the person alleged infringer is not taking the license, then the last thing that you have is to file for a patent infringement suit at the courts. And it has certain legal remedies. You get to have monetary damages, you get to get an injunction. But usually the litigation matters, they depend on the jurisdiction. In particular jurisdiction, what kind of law is there when it comes to infringement, or awarding the damages. So, but yeah, this is the last option which anybody usually goes for, unless and until there is a clear-cut infringement and the alleged infringer is not willing to take the license. Then patent pooling is defined as an agreement between two or more entities who own certain patents to license one or more of their patents to one another or to third party, basically creating a pool of patents, and then, out of those that pool, licensing the technologies to anyone. And this way, the revenue of the patent could be shared, or you can get access to the complex technologies which require the complementary patents in order to provide efficient technical solutions. So patent pooling is also a good thing if you want to avoid big licensing fees. You can, team up with certain companies. You can say that, my set of patents pertaining to this technology and your set of patents pertaining to this technology should be in a pool, and we are free to use those patents, or we can, license out those patents to a third party. Or you can just, sell your patent, or brokerage can be helpful there. The only thing here I would say is, typically I haven't seen a lot of practicing entities selling or brokering a patent. I have come across several non-practicing entities who are dealing with patent selling and brokering. They take the rights from, individual inventors or small startups to the patents, and then either they try to sell it at the cost that they want, or they try to bring up the infringement suits against the alleged infringer. But usually, uh, I have not seen a lot of large entities or multinational companies doing that. The mistakes that you need to take care of not committing while monetization is, not going for an IP valuation, or even if you have gone to for the IP valuation, you're not acting on it. The biggest mistake is not realizing the actual cost of your IP portfolio, realizing how much is the worth for that, right? So that is the primary thing. You should always go for IP valuation. There are a lot of IP valuation experts available, and certified valuation experts, and you can take their assistance in determining the IP cost, the cost of the IP portfolio that you have. Not making the right monetization strategy, or again, not analyzing the market and the industry, as I've discussed in the past also, that you need to figure out the best strategy, where to invest, which country to file for IP, which technology to be filed there, whether to set up a new entity, whether to merge with someone, whether to acquire a small company. All these things have to be taken care while strategizing everything. And lastly, not having a knowledgeable IP consulting firm to package all these things together. We have seen that a lot of IP practitioners they're the best in their country. They have the in-depth knowledge of the laws of their particular country, or of the countries where their clients usually file the applications. But if you are to, take assistance from an IP firm or an IP attorney, please look out for a firm who can assist you across the globes, who can basically, even like the smallest country like Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, or they can help you in countries like the US or EP and all of the major jurisdictions. So that's it for now, and I hope I was clear. But if you have any questions and answers, please feel free to, you know, type in your questions, and I'll be happy to answer all of them. Thank you once again. Stay safe and take care. Bye bye.